Right then, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. Match day preview for Manchester United against Galatasaray. This one's going to be an absolute hellish game for us. And it's a massive win if we're able to pull it off. And we need a win to be able to have any hope whatsoever of continuing in the Champions League, which I don't necessarily think we deserve. But if you want to keep that dream alive, there has to be a victory in this game against Galatasaray. Now, if you don't mind, drop us a like. And also subscribe if you're new around here. We do like pretty level-headed, in-depth analysis type videos. If you're into that sort of stuff, that's what the home is for. So hit subscribe and bosh the notification bell on so you don't miss anything. Now, Galatasaray have managed to pull a win out at weekend after being winless in their previous two losses in a row. At home, though, they're really good. And only Bayern Munich in their last 16 games have actually managed to turn them over. United's win at Goodison Park was interesting because it was our fourth win in 5 away games. Doesn't feel like that, does it? Like, United are actually in some like pretty decent form. It just really doesn't feel like it. We are, of course, bottom of our Champions League group, behind Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Our only points came in that 1-0 win over Copenhagen, but we've lost all 3 of our other games. There are scenarios which see us going through, there are scenarios which see us in Europa League, and there are scenarios which see us going home with nothing. And I think a lot of us would probably enjoy going home with nothing because the rigours of Europa League with this squad might be a bridge too far, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's look at how Galatasaray play. So what you will see, and we covered this quite in depth in the last preview, and it hasn't changed. What you will see from them is build-up tactics that look like a 2-3-5 or a 3-2-5. The important thing here is the 5. They push up. They get people forward. They have aggressive movements from their fullbacks. They like to see position switching, overlapping, and even underlapping from them as well. They rely on a real strong midfield support. They use wingers, a little bit narrowed in to confuse opponents. They seem to get a little bit of depth and width to their play by doing that, and the style can be very, very demanding for opposition fullbacks and even occasionally for opposition wingers, because the default that you're going to see from a lot of managers when someone pushes 5 against your 4 is you get your wingers to track their opposition fullbacks all the way back, and that gives you no depth to your play whatsoever, and it's a nightmare. And something that they do really well is they get their number 10 on the ball in areas where people have already overloaded, and they've got the extra manpower to be able to pop it around in those areas. So watch out for that tomorrow night. The big focus for Galatasaray under Buruk, though, is making them a threat in quick transitions. They can control possession real nice and effectively. In the league, as you would probably expect, they have 62% possession. But one of the key moves that you're going to see from them is they'll do it through the winger Aktakoglu. And he's been a winger in previous seasons, and he takes up this sort of central role in this team. He's got intelligence, he's got agility, and that's made him a real key player to what Galatasaray do in attack. And this versatility, operating both on the left and on the right hand side of the pitch, just getting in areas where he can become a nuisance, offering support to the current wingers in the system and the fullbacks in the build-up phase, means you got to deal with him. And if you don't deal with him, you're going to be in trouble. And his impact extends beyond the distribution abilities as well, because after releasing the ball to a wide player, he then gets late runs into the box, and he's absolutely sensational at doing it. And that dynamic movement, often not picked up as people are already kind of overloaded and figuring out who they're going to get, makes him a very, very dangerous player in the attacking third. As we found out last time we played them, he ghosted in, scored on a cutback. That's exactly the sort of movement that he does constantly. Defensively, they go with Old Faithful 4-4-2. They stay compact between the lines, and they press opportunistically. They often set traps to regain possession in dangerous areas, and they force opponents to play wide. The fullbacks jump to press along the sidelines while teammates block passing options back inside where it's a little bit more dangerous. And they like to sort of block the obvious passing options and force goalkeepers to send it real long when a goalkeeper's got it. Star man for them, I think, is going to be Icardi. He's got 16 in 21 for them this season. He's an absolute goal scorer, someone that breathes, goals, and you know, he's a true top class talent, deadly finisher, very savvy, and will fancy himself at the home ground, and he should, because I'd fancy myself against this United defence at the moment, and we're going to have to be at it to try and win a game here. United, well, the first name for the team sheet for me was Kobbie Mainoo, right? Onana, I've gone with Wan-Bissaka because I think you need the defensive qualities in this one. Luke Shaw, I think it'd be Maguire and Lindelof for whatever reason. Kobbie Mainoo alongside Scott McTominay. Lack of options mainly. Bruno in front, Rashford on the right, Garnacho on the left, same as we did at Everton, and the difference being Hojlund up front. So you should get a little bit more pressing out of Manchester United's front line, and that might be enough to sort of change what we saw in the performance a little bit against Everton. And the star man for me for United is Kobbie Mainoo, because he absolutely changes the entire dynamic of our build-up play, our structure, our ability to play out, the composure, everything like that. And I think he'd be absolutely fantastic. And he offers a level of composure that you only really get from Christian Eriksen in there. And it's ridiculous. Like, this kid's out here picking debuts up, and we're talking about these things, and we're not blowing it up either. This is just facts. This can be a game where if he can stamp his importance on it and announce himself as an actual bona fide starter for Manchester United, he can put a flag in the ground, so to say, that says, I'm here to stay. As usual, our previews are brought to you by our friends at Parimatch UK, and I have got an exclusive bet boost for you guys that you cannot get anywhere else. These are my bets for the game against Galatasaray. I'm going for both teams to score. Why? Well, have you seen us this season? We ship goals, and I think we're going to have to go for it. So I think both teams to score is a bit of a tap-in. I think that's very likely to happen. And let's be honest, Galatasaray are going to fancy themselves at home after what they did to us at Old Trafford. I see the game going in a very similar way, and there was a lot of open chances in that. So I'm going with both teams to score. I'm going with Bruno Fernandes to score any time, and I'm going with over 9.5 corners, and that's been boosted from 6-1 to 7-1 just for you lovely people. And if you fancy getting involved with that bet boost, all you got to do is click the link in the description and you're in the mixer. Prices are subject to change. You do need to be 18 plus to participate. And we know football, and especially Manchester United, are extremely unpredictable. So this is just a bit of fun to enhance your enjoyment of the game. It isn't a promise of winning. And if you do require help with gambling, then make sure to go and check out www.begambleaware.org. Once again, this bet is exclusive to me and Parimatch UK. If you're interested, check the link in the description and let me know in the comments what you're going for in terms of score predictions for this game. Now, how to beat them? You got to ask questions of them defensively, because I don't think defensively they're all that cracked up. And I think because they get numbers forward, they're going to leave people back. And if United have got one thing in the back line, or the front line, sorry, it is pace. So if you go 3v3 against Hojlund, Rashford, and Garnacho, at some point you're going to get your fingers burnt. And I think that's United's opportunity to get a goal. Play high tempo, play on the front foot with a press, because those three players can press. Don't make them comfortable, force a mistake, and see what you can get from that. And secondly, you go with Wan-Bissaka to sort of neutralise Will Zaha. Trust him 1v1 against Zaha's tricks and physicality, and I think you've got at least one duel locked off there. And then finally, looking behind, they've got pretty ordinary level of pace in the back line, and Hojlund exploited this to a T in the home game, was very unlucky not to come away with more. If he picks his moments and we can be a little bit more vertical in behind, that can turn that result around. Anyway, you guys let me know what you're feeling for this game. Get your score predictions in. Get how you see the game's going to go. Do you agree if Kobbie Mainoo comes out of this one? He is the truth. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.